So, find ourselves with McCall here, Mr. SSL himself. Sean, somebody, we've probably done this joke before, I'd imagine.
There's been lots of jokes about me being some kind of SSL shill. Yeah.
Shill, that's it. Anyway, so what are we looking at today, Sean? In this episode of Is It Shit? Is it SSL?
Is it SSL? Yes, I've been buying more SSL products and recently released. And interestingly, I think this one was one of those products you knew was coming. There was no rumours, but it's like they make the UF-8, you know, with the 8 faders, and they make the UC-1, which I bought a while back. And it was like, there's no transport control. That's got to be coming. Anyway, they dropped this a few weeks ago, the UF-1, which is basically a door transport control with transport buttons, assignable buttons, a jog shuttle wheel, one fader, pan control, and some assignable controls, and a very nice pair of screens, a small like postage stamp style one above the fader telling you what the fader's doing, and then a 4-inch LCD screen on the top of the main unit which can show all kinds of other information. Really classy looking bit of kit. So what does it do? Well, obviously it's a transport control, play, stop, record, all the rest of it. Locate points, loop points, all that stuff, does that very well. The single fader controls any channel you want, although there is an issue with that which we'll come to later. The 4 assignable rotary controls at the top, they can be for channel levels. If you want to do more than one channel at a time, you could use fader for one and those for another 4 channels, or they can control all kinds of other stuff including plugins. It comes with a piece of software which is the SSL metering plugin, so that runs on your monitor and simultaneously on this screen if you want it to, doesn't have to, and that can show you a bar graph, or it can show you stereo meters in an old VU style, or it can show you a phase meter and a level meter. It's really quite cool, that, and you can tell it what kind of input you're giving it, you know, how many, you know, what you want your settings to be basically. So that's all really cool. The assignable buttons, it works with the SSL 360 software. They can be assigned to anything within your door. So I've set them up for the things I use the most, like selecting the scissors tool, selecting the pointer tool, a save, and undo, always there accessible on the front. There's another button which takes me to my mixer page, a whole bunch of clever stuff. You can zoom vertically, horizontally, all that stuff. Then the big channel control in the middle. By default, that basically flips control down through the channels on your door, which is the issue in a way. So when you're selecting different channels on your door, this fader within Logic I'm talking about here doesn't move to those channels. So I could be on channel 1 and this will move the channel fader on channel 1. When I select 2, it doesn't move to channel 2. SSL are aware of this and they're working on it. At the moment, if you want to change what channel you're controlling within Logic, you use the channel selector control to scroll through them. It's not too tricky and it doesn't bother me that much, but it would be way nicer if they fixed it. But a really cool feature of that big channel control is that you can put this into something called focus mode. And in focus mode, whatever you hover over with your mouse on the screen, that controller controls it. So if you hover over the gain on an EQ plugin, that control becomes the gain. If you hover over a compressor threshold, it becomes, and it's the quickest and easiest hardware controller for messing with plugins.
Don't even have to click the mouse.
Don't have to click the mouse, just hover. That's really, really genius. I love that. It makes that whole thing kind of just work.
Yeah, agreed. It's been on live consoles for a long time, hasn't it? A similar sort of thing. Yeah,
it has. And, you know, yeah, that's a good point. But this has been really, really well thought out, and it's obviously it works in that it joins straight onto the UF-8 or to the UC-1. It's beautiful looking brushed steel kind of look to it. But yeah, it's a very classy bit of kit, very well made. Yeah, it's not massively cheap.
No, how much is it?
Well, in the UK it's $599, which is, that's a lot of money for a one fader transport control, but this thing is built incredibly well. Unlike the UC-1, this has an extra USB port, so you can route through it, which is useful. So you basically, I've plugged into this and then I've routed the UC-1 off this. That saves a bit of cabling, so I quite like that. But yeah, I just think it's a very nice, classy transport controller, which will work with pretty much every door. Like I say, there's a couple of bugs which they're working on, but it's SSL, they'll get it done.
Cool. So, Sean, the SSL UF-1, is it shit?
It's not shit. No, no, it's not. It's not cheap. I'm not going to pretend it's cheap at all.
Have we
It's
done
not.
the price? We haven't done the price.
Yeah, we have. Yeah,
We have done the price. Yeah,
$5.99.
yeah.
Obviously, there's no demo.
No,
You can
no,
go-
no.
You can go to a shop and play with
I
one.
didn't ask you. Yeah.
But no, I'm incredibly impressed. It does. It's one of those things where your workflow will adapt to it if you let it. You will keep using the mouse unless you start using this. But once you get into this, you'll find yourself working quicker. You know, and just those quick buttons for saving and for undoing and for, you know, your favourite edit tools and stuff. Once you get into that, it really speeds up your workflow.
Very cool. Thank you very much, Sean. Thank you very much, Dan, as well. Thanks, both of us, I think.
Yeah, big round of applause
Yeah,
for sitting there and listening to me.
Yeah,
about SSL.
I definitely had a big contribution to that particular episode. But doesn't mean that you shouldn't subscribe to the channel.
That's true, and you should also check out the Instagram, which is Studio Life 101.
We've got a Patreon, and we've got a merch store, and we've got a few other bits and pieces in the links below that you can go on, click on, and have a look and get involved.
And you should do that.
All right.
See you next time.
Bye.